When you first start out, you can choose to capitalize your business in one of two ways. Either invest equity or by way of a shareholder loan. Equity is when you invest your capital in the business. The business will own the money as its capital, but the business has an obligation to its shareholders, in this case you, to grow its profits, grow the value of the business, and distribute profits to its shareholders by way of dividends. A shareholder loan is a form of debt. The business becomes the debtor of the shareholder. This type of loan is usually an interest-free loan made by the shareholder to the business. Incidentally, one of the big mistakes I see businesses make when applying for funding is to fail to describe a shareholder loan in its financial statements. The credit committee at the financier then do not know what the long-term liability is all about and may decline the application because the credit committee may think that the business is over-indebted. So the moral of the story is, adequately describe the shareholder loan in your financial statements. Many, if not most, small businesses start with little to no capital. A professional services firm or a personal services firm can start with no more than a laptop, smartphone, and a home office. A wholesale or retail business might need a more substantial amount of capital to get off the mark. But a wholesale business that procures stock for large businesses can access certain types of trade finance, including purchase order funding, without any financial track record, even as a startup business. Manufacturers, logistics businesses, and businesses in the agricultural sectors are examples of businesses that require large amounts of initial capital. If you have never been in business, I strongly recommend that you consider starting a business that requires little to no capital. And there are many such opportunities. Don't fall into the trap of believing that you need a large amount of capital to start a business. Capital, though important to grow, is certainly not a prerequisite to starting and growing a business. In fact, success in life and in business depends on character and competence. Aspiring entrepreneurs often start a business with income generation as their main focus. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to make a living. But before you start out, please consider your end in mind. What are you aiming at with this business? If income generation is your exclusive objective, then that is totally fine. One of my former clients did exactly that. He externalized profits from the business, invested the monies wisely, and by the time he had passed away, he had accumulated a portfolio of 50 investment properties. However, if you want to develop a business into an asset of value that you can one day hand over to the next generation or sell for a healthy profit, then you will have to adopt a totally different approach to investing in your business. Cashing in your retirement fund is a risky option, more so if you have no experience as an entrepreneur, but it has been done before. However, I strongly recommend discussing this option with a certified financial planner before deciding. Using personal debt to start a business is not uncommon. You may be able to secure a first or second mortgage on a residential property. The interest rate is low and the term over which the loan is granted is quite long, sometimes even as long as 20 years, making the monthly installment low. Before you decide, consider the cost of finance against the prospective return on investment that you can make by investing this money in your business. Asking for money from family or friends is a contentious issue. If you do have family with capital to lose and they are willing to risk this money in an effort to support your efforts, then go ahead. But be wary of this option. You can always start again in business. Mending broken relationships is much harder to do. Using money from the sale of another asset is an option if you believe that the returns you will gain from the business and the risk of investing in the business represents a better investment opportunity than keeping your money invested in the asset. If it's only you in the business, it's totally up to you to decide what to do with profits. Do you retain cash surpluses in the business to fund trading activities? Do you invest in operational assets? Do you pay yourself director's remuneration, or do you externalize profits by way of a dividend to shareholders? The moment you have partners with you in the business, you have to gain explicit agreement on things such as how much cash reserves are you going to retain in the business? What are you going to do with profits? What strategies will you employ to create value for customers, your other stakeholders, and shareholders? A failure to gain explicit agreement can lead to the business failing. But partners in business come with attachments. Your business partner has a family just like you, and the family is as much a part of the business as you are. You as an entrepreneur need the support of family and friends to succeed in business. Running a business is hard. I strongly recommend that you sit down with your partner and have a frank discussion. What are your expectations? What is the aspirations of your partner? Do you want to one day sell your stake in the business to an external party? Or do you hope to one day hand over your interest in the business to the next generation, to your son or daughter? What is your partner's expectations? Getting into business is a little bit like a marriage. Before committing, you need to make sure you have agreement on important matters. But what if things do go wrong? What if one of the partners unexpectedly passes away, or becomes very sick, or suffers some sort of accident that leads to them becoming temporarily or permanently disabled? It is essential that you agree on a business continuity plan with your partners. A certified financial planner can assist you to draft a buy and sell agreement underwritten by insurance contracts on the lives of individual partners. Not only can the agreement provide financially for the affected partner or their family, but can also ensure the smooth transition of ownership between the affected partner and the remaining partners in the business. Sadly, very few self-employed individuals successfully make the transition to become business owners. Building a business into an asset of value is not easily achieved. You need to equip yourself with skills. Visit Constructum Online Learning on YouTube for cost-free access to content with which you can equip yourself for the entrepreneurial journey.